Saluki Nation, it's time to get Missouri Valley Conference play for baseball this weekend. It felt like it's still a ways away, but here we are as the league play begins. I'll be on the road to Chicago, Illinois to take on UIC. Head coach Lance Rhodes here to preview the weekend and conference play opening up. And Coach Rhodes, as we said, this is the time of year that you always want to make sure that your team is prepared, ready to go. I know it's been a challenging year in terms of the lineups and getting guys healthy in and out. But for the most part, as you head in, does it still feel like, hey, somewhat of a clean slate here now as you get into league play?
Yeah, I don't ever want to be that team that you get into conference season and you're like, okay, let's restart this thing. I mean,
Yeah.
there's not going to be just this miraculous restart. Um, we have the pieces that we need to put the puzzle together. We just haven't put it together. It's been a scrambled mess, honestly, with injuries. Um, and, you combine that with, just some lack of performance. And there's no reason to sugarcoat it. We have to be able to look at the things that are going wrong and confront those issues and overcome them. We've got to be able to we've got to continue to get guys back to be able to play. Um, I still feel like when we get our starting lineup on the field, when we get our starting rotation pitching, it can help us, get everybody in the roles that they need to be in, which is obviously a huge thing that every single team needs, especially at the mid-major level. It's hard to overcome a lot of injuries. But outside of that, everybody has those things. Everybody has injuries. We just have to play better.
Yeah.
And you know, where we've got to make the adjustment is we've got to be able to go from practice and cross the white lines when it means win or loss and play well. We've shown great things in practice, and that's great. Like that's good for us as coaches to see. But at the end of the day, like nobody cares about how well you practice. They only care about how well you play the games. And so until we take it into a game and perform well, it doesn't mean anything.
I know, like you said, there's obviously great frustration with where you're at in terms of not performing to the level that you guys have all had and wanted to. But are there things that you do look through just, hey, through some struggles, through different lineups, through different guys playing? What are things that you do look at and go, you know what? It may not be where the wins and losses we want right now, but I do like progression where we're making in certain areas.
I mean, we've been competitive every single game. Yeah, I mean, our season, our attitudes, our thoughts, everything could be completely flipped, mainly if we had a hit or two per game, every game. We've got traffic on the bases. Our run total is not where it needs to be. It's not from a lack of opportunity to get the runs in. We're just not knocking them in. And again, there's some pressure with that. We haven't, early in the season, we didn't step up and knock those runs in. It tacks on a couple losses. You start to feel the loss, you start to feel that pressure, and then that pressure builds because you're not getting it done. And then when you have that pressure and you're trying to not let yourself down, not let the team down, not accumulate another loss. I mean, the pressure gets high, and those are the challenges of sports. And every single team that is losing in any sport across the board deals with those type of pressure that you have to overcome. And we have the players that can do it. We have ability that can do it. We just haven't got it done at this point in the season. And my hope and I truly have belief that we are going to do it. Um, and I could be sitting here at the end of the season and we just never did it. And that's a lot of it goes to us as coaches. If we just never get it out of our players, that's going to fall back on us as a coaching staff that we just never could get it out of our guys because they have the ability to do it. So we've got to continue doing everything as we can as a coaching staff to help those guys perform with less anxiety, perform under pressure, perform when the other pitcher is locking down because they know it's a crucial moment in the game, and just have some players that have that clutch gene and get things done. And again, I think we're going to do it. I think we have the ability to do it. I thought we would have done it by now. So it's again, you're trying to balance the frustration and staying positive and moving forward. You're trying to balance every emotion. Um, and that's why losing is so difficult because there's a lot of emotions that go with losing, and you're trying to balance all those things, and you're trying to face reality, but you're also trying to get the guys to understand that there is a positive that can come from this, but we got to get going.
How do you wait? And when I say wait of when you live it like you do, Coach Rhodes, I mean, it's each and every day, you, your staff, you guys are constantly thinking of ways of not even just during the games, well before the games, and hey, how do we help our team get in this position? How do we help our guys perform better? But you said you can also get in your own way at times throughout a season. Who are people that you talk to that you rely on to just make sure that you check yourself in terms of that hey, that Lance Rhodes is bringing his best mentality each and every day. And I think all of us in all of our lines of work need a group of people that we know we can tap into because they're going to tell us what we need to hear at times. Maybe we need to hear it the most.
Yeah, I mean, for me, a guy that I worked with is somebody I call all the time, Steve Beazer, my old
Yeah.
boss. I mean, he's coached a lot longer than I have. He's been, in this exact situation. And again, you don't want to just call other coaches that are having bad seasons and things like that and just let you hear what you want to hear. And, the one thing that we all understand is misery loves company. And, I'm not trying to go down that road where, it's the end, we've got no hope inside or anything like that. We're frustrated because our expectations are just so much higher than 8 and 11 where we're at right now. And never did I think that we would be in this position. And not, I don't mean this in any arrogant way or anything like that, but I've never been in this position as a head coach. I've never been in this position as an assistant coach. I've been just very fortunate to be around some very successful teams that have always been on the positive side of wins and losses. So there's a lot of things that we're going through right now as a coach, as a coaching staff, and as a team that we just haven't ever been through before. And I'm glad because losing is no fun. Um, and our job is to figure out how we overcome these losses. Um, because there is a difference in the losses whenever you're just getting your brains kicked in every game it's almost like it doesn't hurt as much. But whenever every single game you're right there and you feel like we're about to step up and get over the hump and win this game and we just don't do it, like there's one something that prevents us from doing it, that's where that frustration just keeps building. And again, we're going to continue instilling as much confidence in these guys as we can. The only way that I know how to instill the confidence in these guys is to make sure that they are prepared to play. We're going to prepare them to practice well. We're going to give them a great scouting report. We're going to do everything that we can as coaches to manage the game to the best of our ability on making changes when we need to make changes, putting the right players in the right opportunities to be successful, and then hope that they go out and feel confident to perform at a high level. And, we're all on the same team. Like the players aren't the only ones losing. I mean, we're right there with them. Coaches, players, we're all losing. We're all winning together. Um, so again, we've got to find winning ways. And right now we've just been on the rough side of it, but it's an ugly win-loss record right now, but I still have extreme high expectations that we could win this league. I really do. And I'm not just trying to say that to cover up what has not gone right.
And we've seen in years past where sometimes, whether how non-conferences shake up or how leagues go, that the Valley has shown, right? Not just the ability of teams who, of course, win the conference tournament, go and have great success with 3 straight years, having a team in a super regional, But it's clear the metrics and everything haven't pointed to anybody really in the league to be in that at large pool. So I'm not saying you just, hey, it's all that matters at the end because there is a lot of baseball between now and then to qualify for the conference tournament. But that also is the aspect of Coach Rhodes of look, that is where you want to make sure that you are playing your best as you go throughout the year. I know it's kind of the cliche thing, but you never do want to peak early because sometimes there are teams who start to peak right now and then hard to get back to that point once you're later on.
Yeah, I mean, we know that this season, whoever goes to the regional is going to win the conference
Yeah.
tournament. Like it's clear that that's going to be the case. Um, so for us, yeah, I mean, we want to be playing our best baseball in May. Um, but you don't just start playing good baseball in May. Like there's a gradual progression
Yeah.
to this thing, and we've got to get going
Yeah.
because there's only so much losing that a team can take most years and like overcome that. I mean, it's losing is a very difficult thing to overcome. I don't think we're at the point yet where it's like, hey, it's unsalvageable um, because we are 0 and 0. Every single team in our league is 0 and 0. And now, honestly, um, there's a lot of teams in our league that are feeling worse than us. And I'm not trying to like say that to make us feel any better.
Yeah.
But when you look across the board, it's like, okay, we haven't been good. Um, but I think we're sitting in third place in our league.
Yeah.
Um, so as bad as we feel about it, like how good would we be feeling if we were playing good? I mean, we're 8-11 and we haven't played good.
Yeah.
Um, so and maybe we should be looking at it that way where we're just thankful that we're 8-11 because um, what would we be if we were playing good baseball and what are we going to be when we do start playing good baseball?
Look, when you do want to go throughout the year, and part of wanting to know that you're playing your best baseball is you also want to know you got to have a stud out on that mound, which clearly Andrew Evans has been outstanding for you guys to in starting a weekend the right way. And you need a guy that can close. And man, what McIntosh has done, and we talked about his ability, even in the UT Martin game the other night, just to give yourselves a chance to potentially walk it off in the ninth inning. Those are two pieces that, I mean, to me, those have to be overwhelmingly huge positives right now for your pitching staff as a whole.
Yeah, I mean, the great thing is when you look at what good teams possess, they have good Friday guy. They typically have a good Saturday guy. Their Sunday guy throws strikes and keeps you in games. Um, where we've been behind the eight ball is our Friday night guy is great. Like he's given us a chance to win every Friday. Me Johnson is as good as anybody on Saturday to help us either even a series or win a series. Um, Ryan Halmachek is as good as any Sunday starter, but he hasn't pitched since opening weekend. Um, the other issue is there's another guy that we thought was potentially either going to be one of our best bullpen arms or potentially start on Tuesday for us in that role. He hasn't pitched since opening weekend. So when you see how our Tuesdays have gone, Sundays, Troy Shepard has stepped up big time. But again, when you're taking one of your main bullpen guys and putting him into the role, now everybody in the bullpen is getting stretched more than they
Yeah.
should. And then it leads into Tuesday where we just have nobody to give us any length. Everybody's piecing it together. So we're relying too much on the bullpen to get us through so many innings right now. Um, but again, like the injuries are just a part of what's going on. We got to figure out a way to overcome those things. But we still have the pieces to put together good weekends. With Evans and Mead and Troy, the way that they're throwing. Um, one of the things with us being in this situation with the injuries right now and looking at the four games, it is a priority for us to make sure that we do whatever we can to get two of the three on the weekends. Um, and if it just puts us in a bind on the last game of the weekend, or if it puts us in a bind on a Tuesday, we're just going to have to live with that. And, again, like we were in a bind last night and we still managed it. To give up the 6 runs through 9 innings with just asking guys, hey man, can you just give us one inning? Um, that's what we needed. So,
Yeah.
we're managing it fine. We're just not winning the games. And ultimately that's the only thing that matters is if you win or lose. So, again, we're going to continue working at it. But yeah, I mean, it's nice whenever you have, Evans and Mead who can hopefully eat up a bulk of those innings to get our weekend started.
Kind of two guys I want to pinpoint in terms of man, and probably should be more than just two guys of their kind of stories of perseverance. One, Christian Sprawling, to really just be about a year removed from one of probably the nastiest injuries that you've seen a part of there at Mountain Dew Park last year against Morehead State. And even a guy like Gio DeGraw last night, who had an outstanding fall by all accounts, a freakish accident that happens and almost pretty much is to relearn how to throw this spring, where most guys are maybe about, hey, I'll shut it down, or I can't totally just rethink of ways to throw. Like Geo's finding ways to still pitch and be productive for you guys. How important have those guys been, especially Christian with his path back? And seems like both of those guys too are good personalities within your dugout.
Yeah, I mean, Sprawling is as good as it gets, and Gio's same. But Sprawling, you talk about just an absolute terrible injury whenever he was going just so good last year. And it just takes so much time to come back. I mean, he didn't even play baseball until probably November. Um, so you just talk about baseball is such a hard game, and then when you take almost a full season off, again, he's going to be a guy that he will never back down from work, and I expect him to continue to get better throughout this season, and he'll be playing really good baseball down the stretch for us. I have no doubts about that. Geo's is just it's a tough thing, man. Like just such a freak accident. We had insanely high expectations for Geo, as Geo did too. I mean, Geo was um, a tremendous starter for his previous school, throwing almost 100 innings at his previous school. Was the West Coast Collegiate League Pitcher of the Year in the summer prior to coming here, and is just an unbelievable worker at his craft. And just had this situation where he was doing a drill and like a strap on this device that he was using just got caught around his pitching finger and broke his finger. And again, when you have an injury like that, you don't realize how much like the feeling of the baseball in your hand affects your grips, your pitches. And up to this point, like he just hasn't had that good feel back yet. And again, you look at our season last night when we talked about how we haven't had people step up yet, make big plays, make big pitches, make big hits. I mean, he was as clutch as it gets last
Yeah.
night. Behind the eight ball, bases loaded, nobody out. He comes in, he finds a way to throw the ball over the plate, strikes a guy out, gets a chance for a double play ball. Like he, that was exactly what our guys, our group, our coaches, everybody has to look at that and go, man, what an example of clutching up. That's and that's what we've got to carry from other individuals throughout the rest of our season. If we can have that type of toughness, that type of mentality, we can get to where we want to get to.
Let's look at towards UIC this weekend. Coach McDermott's group, of course, saw them in the conference tournament last year. They had really good competitive games when they came down to Carbondale a year ago. Seems like it's been almost don't want to say a completely new roster that he's got, but no doubt some turnover for him this year. Just what you make of their group right now as they sit at 4-13-1 coming in this weekend.
Ever since I've been playing against UIC, they've had very similar non-conference seasons. Um, and they tend to play very well in conference play. So my expectation is we'll go up there and we'll get their best
Yeah.
baseball. And they've off to a really rough start, but I don't think that they'll play to what their record says. So we'll have to go up there and play well. They've got a good Friday arm too, man. Like when you watch him on video, you look at his metrics, like he's a tough pitcher to hit. So we'll have to find a way to battle on Friday. And then their Saturday starter's been in our league for a long time, and um, he just gives us fits. Like, well, I mean, for some reason, we haven't quite figured him out yet. So hopefully, this is the year that we get him. Um, but yeah, I mean, it's a new roster. They've got some guys that power wise are back in Curry and that haven't really done much. So you're wondering, like, hey, when's the weekend that they're going to get it going, right?
Yeah.
Um, and the nice thing is they're not stealing bases at the clip that they usually do. So again, um, different year for them, different personnel, but man, I almost we're just at the point of our season with where we're at. It doesn't matter who we play. It doesn't matter if we play a team that's undefeated or a team that hasn't won a game. I mean, it's all about how we're going to play baseball. And I truly feel like we've played one complete game this year, and that was when we played Omaha a couple Fridays ago up in the Dome in Minnesota. And everything was really well that day. And I was kind of hoping at that point, hey, maybe the tide's turning a little bit. And that's kind of been our biggest issue. Like one step forward, three steps back, one step forward, two steps back, 1-1. But again, hopefully we're closing that gap. And then this will be a big weekend. Hopefully it gets us a little more excitement back into it in the middle part of our season, understanding that every game matters and like all 56 that you play, but every one of these really matter because we want to be the one seed. If we don't get the one, we definitely want to be the two. We want one of those buys going
Yeah.
into the conference tournament that sets us up for better chance to win that conference tournament and get into a regional.
Again, we'll have the coverage all weekend with Saluki Radio. Games will also be TV streamed as well, but we'll be up there in Chicago. And Coach Rhodes, as we close out, I don't know how much you want to necessarily share about this, but one of my favorite movies of all time is Planes, Trains, and Automobiles with Steve Martin and John Candy. I hope that your team doesn't have necessarily a weekend of travel when it comes out. There's so many things that are out of your team's control that I know as we record this right now, still kind of working through some of those logistics, but I'm sure you'll find whichever way to get up to Chicago and find a way to play these three games.
Yeah, I mean, I just think it's one of those things where if you were winning a lot of games right now, you'd just be
Yep.
laughing about the things that are happening. And again, the one thing that I do know about sports, because I've been on the other end of it too, when things are happening to an opponent that you're playing and they're losing and their travel issues and things like that, you're just sitting there going, man, just let it pile on because I want those guys to come in and just feel as bad about themselves as possible because nobody feels sorry about, for you in sports because everybody's trying to beat you down whenever you're down. And we just all it is just outside factors that really have
Yeah.
no bearing on whether we play good baseball or not. Are we going to get there at the time that we were supposed to get there? No. Are we going to get there the same way that we were supposed to travel there? Probably not. But again, we're going to be on the field. We're going to play three games. We got a chance to go up there and play three good games. All the other factors should not control whether we play good or not. Um, so again, I'm not trying to get too caught up on the travel issues that we're having, but um, yeah, it's just one thing after another right now, but we're going to overcome it.
Absolutely. And it starts this weekend. Coach, looking forward to being in Chicago with you guys this weekend.
Appreciate it.
Once again, now it's head coach Lance Rhodes. We'll have our conversations now with Coach Rhodes throughout the duration of the season. Again, right now, first pitch for Friday scheduled at 4:05 p.m. Central Time there in Chicago. For the head coach Lance Rhodes, I am Luke Martin. We'll talk to you this weekend from the Windy City, Saluki Nation. Go Dogs.